Okay.
Put that on the website.
Camera's rolling.
This one? Who claims that?
But that is definitely a saleable thing, something nobody else is doing.
It's a piece of sapelli that started out as an oblong bowl. Once I got the back turned and reversed it, the tendon broke off in the chuck as I was hollowing this. So this is what it wound up to be. Carved and burned edge, kind of free-form design. A lot of time.
What'd you use to carve it?
An air grinder, a right angle grinder with some rotary rasps and burrs and stuff. And lacquer finish, that it was a high gloss finish that I just rubbed down.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Several of you have asked how I get words on the bottom of my bowls. And so I brought in the tool that I use. This is simply a transfer iron. You could use your wife's ordinary iron, but she might not like that. This is a lot easier to deal with in the shop. And you have to use laser print, not inkjet. And you have to print it backwards because it's going to be a mirror image when you iron it on. But then you just put the piece, tape it to the bottom of the bowl or wherever you want, and iron it. What I've found, though, is that it's sort of iffy for doing end grain. It doesn't transfer as well, and the heat may make the end grain check. So I've pretty much stopped doing it on end grain. I just write on by hand. But for side grain, it's a beautiful way of transferring it.
You do it before or after the finish?
I put on a sanding sealer, sand it, and then do this, and then put on the finish.
So it goes into the sanding sealer, not into the wood?
Well, I've pretty much sanded the sanding sealer back off, but what it helps is as it fills the pores, then it transfers onto both the wood and the fill pores. Okay, you want a good smooth surface to transfer it to.
How hot is that? When that
I don't know, if you spit on it, it goes so it's overboiling.
No, I'm just saying, if it hotter, would it be better? Or then, I mean, if you could get it hotter, would it be?
I don't think so.
No.
I mean,
The
if
paper
you
burns.
leave it in one place, you'll char the paper.
Okay.
So
So it's
it's
probably
basically what you're
350,
doing is melting, remelting the laser print.
And that's actually, oh, it's a laser print on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Can you
So
use
actually-
can you use a
Digs
copy?
in.
What?
Can you use a copy?
If it's a laser copier,
Okay.
and I think most of them are. The key thing is that it's a heat transfer rather than an inkjet.
What about using something like xylene to, what about using something like xylene to use as your transfer? Xylene, you've heard of the chemical?
Yeah, but
You rub it on, I mean, when I took a class years ago, it's toxic, but it's a very small quantity. And they just used xylene to make an imprint.
Let me see.
Yeah.
so what did it do? It dissolved
what
the
is
print
it?
off the paper?
And it left the writing, I guess.
Well, that might work with an inkjet, but with this here, it's fused to the paper,
Yeah.
so the solvent wouldn't work, and you have to use the heat transfer.
I think they sell transfer paper. Have you seen that?
They do, but, and if you only have an inkjet printer, that would be the way to go. But transfer paper isn't cheap, and this is just ordinary copy paper.
I think they sell the transfer paper for laser jets, though. But
Then,
it's,
no, I think there's some that you can use for inkjet.
yeah.
But you could just as well use a copying machine to make a copy, if you didn't have,
Well, the idea is that the toner is plastic, so that's why copies come out of the copier or the laser jet hot, because it's fused onto the paper. So if the concern was that the paper is burning, I think they sell transfer paper, which is like, if you ever remember the old iron-ons,
Right.
it's like that waxy paper.
But you don't have to burn it, you just keep moving it.
Oh, and it'll be fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
But someone asked how hot it was, and I was saying if you leave it there long enough, you start
Oh.
to char it.
How do you get the printer to print backwards?
There are two ways, depending on the program you use. Probably most of you, if you use Microsoft Word, when you bring up the print window
Yeah.
and advanced options, there's an option for printing mirror image.
Really? Just learned something.
What I do is I make these things in a graphics program, and I just say, convert it to curves and then mirror image it. But there are at least the two ways of doing that. Here are two small U bowls with azurite inlay in the rim. And one of them I realized that I had gone down too far when I was hollowing it. And so I said a few words, and then I just glued a piece of U onto the bottom. And if you guys will see where the glue joint is, but it's not real obvious.
It's called a
I
design
wouldn't have bothered if I
adaptation.
hadn't already taken the trouble to put the azurite in. I would have just burned it. I like Marty's trees, and I decided, well, why not make pre-decorated ones? So this is a red maple, and this one is box elder, and no, it is a box elder box. And this one, this is what I did last night. And I looked at that. I know what the wood is. Do any of you know what this wood is? I've never seen this wood look like this.
It's domestic?
It's domestic.
That maple?
Is it a brochure maple?
No?
Oh, dogwood.
No.
No?
It's black cherry. Black cherry burl.
Unusual.
And I got several pieces, and all the burls look like this, which is different from any cherry burl I've seen before. The rest of the wood is beautiful cherry. So there's something unusual about the
There's 1,000 different cherry trees around, you know.
yeah. But this is just, I think, the ordinary wild black cherry.